Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rahah, Rakak, Radash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who still rule well. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, you sincere Akim. Make your bodies a living sacrifice and teach this truth with great sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom. It's your brother Yadon. And basically, want to quickly and briefly speak on how right now, speak on how we need to practice on being more spiritual. You see, we have to practice on being more spiritual, and practice on being uncarnal. Because the times that we are in now, we have to be more and more spiritual. You see, and less carnal. We have to be more intact with our spiritual, with the inner man, and be more untact with the flesh. You see? Because being in the flesh and walking in the flesh is going to get you nowhere but destroyed. So we have to practice on being more spiritual. You see? And that goes into, fasting, praying more. You see, because when you fast, you're purifying your soul, your spirit. You're purifying your spirit, and that's a way that that Yahweh Shemel Shah can truly deal with you. Then, can truly, show you things. So that's what we have. That's being spiritual. We have to do more of that. Being more spiritual. Because as long as you're being carnal and living to please your flesh, then Yahweh Shemel Shah can't deal with you. I mean, it will not deal with you. As long as you living in the flesh. You see? And you got a lot of individuals that's advertising those characteristics. You got guys out here wearing these bulletproof vests. Thinking they can protect themselves from these so-called white people. Which is impossible, man, because they was given their blessing. They was given a sword. Going back to Isaac, they was given this sword. You see? That's part of their blessing. Our weapons are not carnal, but spiritual. You see, and that's why we have to walk spiritually and not carnal. We're not supposed to walk in the flesh, man. And you know what, really quick, we're going to start it off with that. Let me get that really quick. Because you got a lot of guys, a lot of individuals that are carnal-minded. And that's going to lead you nowhere but to death, man. But yeah, really quick, let's grab 2 Corinthians chapter 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Here we go. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Right. Read that one more time. "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Right. So we don't take up arms. We don't take up heat. We don't take up weapons, carnal weapons, to fight our battles. No, we are sheep amongst wolves. Just like the scriptures say, we're not to be brawlers. Period, point blank. We this old carnal idea of going to gun ranges and that's not spiritual, man. And Yahweh Shem Shah is not dealing with that. Because you depending on yourself, you putting trust in yourself and in these carnal things instead of putting your trust in Yahweh Shem Shah. Verse 4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." You see? "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." Right. So our powers are spiritual. And where do our powers come from? Where do our protection come from? From Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. There, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the only power that's going to deliver us and protect us in these great tribulations that are coming. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the only ones that is going to save us, either by giving spiritual powers to his men, his prophets, or by sending down his holy angels to protect brothers and few sisters. You see, we're not gonna be able to deliver ourselves with these carnal weapons. I don't care if you got a damn bazooka. Esau, these so-called white people, will not be defeated with these carnal weapons, because that is their blessing that was given to them from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You see? "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." See, we got to be separated. We are separated from. We got to be slacking. We got to be separated from these carnal-minded individuals. You see? "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, to the pulling down of strongholds." You see? And then it says, verse 5, "Casting down imaginations." What you see the prophets doing? Just like the scriptures say, why do the heathen imagine vain things? You see? Why do the heathen rage and imagine vain things? Because, you got it starting with Esau, thinking they God, thinking they the Most High. Thinking that they are the true Israelites. You see? Vain imaginations. And guess what? The men of the Lord is casting them imaginations down, man, by bringing this truth out. You see? This is the spiritual power from Yahweh Shem Shah. This is way. This do more damage than carnal weapons. You see, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself. You see, we casting these devils down with this truth. These devils are being cast down through the power and words of Yahweh Shemel Shah through his men, through his prophets that he has sent forth. You see, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High. Right. You see, no matter what, anything and anyone that come against this truth will be cast down and brought low, brought to shame. And what you see, that's what's going on today, man. Because you see prophecies are coming to pass. Major prophecies are being unfolded. You see? This is way powerful than any carnal weapon. Read that one more time. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing unto captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. You see? You know, this truth, it casts down uh 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 just like to say, cast down uh casting down imagination and every high thing that exalted itself. You know? So this truth cut you and make you get in line. You know? And make you get in line also. You know, period point blank. See, this is the spiritual. This is being spiritual. You know, this is what we have to practice daily. Being spiritual and not carnal, because being carnal can cause you to be destroyed. You see, period point blank. We're gonna go to the book of Romans to prove that. Book of Romans chapter 8. Book of Romans chapter 8. Book of Romans chapter 8. We're gonna start at verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Right. Verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Right. So, those of you that walk in the flesh, those of you are carnal and of this world, don't mind the things that's going on in this world. Y'all don't mind. You know, you don't mind the adultery that's going on, the homosexuality. You know, you don't mind that men can marry men. You don't mind that a human being can marry an animal. You know, you don't mind the abominable things that's going on around, round and about, because you are of the world and you walk after the flesh. You see, which is the spirit of Esau, man. You know, that's the spirit that Esau had. You see, and 2/3 of you Jakes obtain the same spirit. That's why you're gonna be destroyed right along with them when Yahweh Shem Shah come back for being carnal like Esau, because they're promoting this wickedness, homosexuality, and all this wickedness, and y'all don't mind it, you know. And I know that for a fact, man. I done ran across, so I done ran across some jakes, man. They're just cool with it. That's really cool with another man walking around all feminine, getting pumped in the ass by another man rod, you know. It's just that's cool. Everybody got their own life, and man, I don't want to hear that. And that's why you 2/3 Jakes is gonna be destroyed. Period, point blank. You know, for being carnal. He said, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit." Right? You see? See, if you spiritual, you gonna hate what's going on here, and you gonna prefer righteousness, man. Period, point blank. If you spiritual and walking in your how about Shemal Shai, you gonna hate the abominable thing that's going on around here, man. You gonna hate the wickedness that Esau, these so-called white people, is promoting. You see, and condoning. If you in the spirit, you're not gonna condone this BS, man. You're not gonna condone this BS. Read that one more time. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. Verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death. Right. For to be carnally minded is death. Because you have no life. You have truly no life. You're gonna be dead. You just walking around dead like zombies. Because you lack true wisdom, true knowledge. You have no breath. You have no breath of life in you from Yahweh Shemal Shai within you. So therefore you're walking around dead. He said, for to be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Right, man. And that goes into, you changing yourself. You make some changes about yourself. You no longer smoking cigarettes. You no longer smoking weed. You no longer drinking like if you do, you no longer you could have been an alcoholic. You no longer drink as much as you used to. Things that that can build you. You stop things that can you put an end to certain things to build you, to build your spiritual build your inner man, which is your spirit. Because that's the only way you're gonna overcome the flesh. Is by building your spirit, by having your spirit to be increased. You see? Because the spirit is willing, but the flesh, it can be is weak, man. I always say it's a constant battle between the spirit and the flesh. That's why we gotta focus more on being spiritual daily and not carnal. and quit feeding the flesh more than you feed the spirit. You have to feed the spirit more than you feed the flesh. Yeah, it's a balance, you know, because sometimes you do have to feed the flesh, but majority of you have to feed the spirit, you know, so you can be stronger. You know, especially for the times that we are entering in. We have to be spiritual. We have to overcome the flesh. Because you don't overcome the flesh, hey, you're gonna be lost out here, man, in these great troubles that'll come. You're gonna be taken in distress, man, when these great troubles come. You see? That's why I said in the beginning, we got to go back. You know, we got to fast. You know, we have to truly fast. That's another way of building your spiritual. Salaki. That's another way of building your spirit, strengthening your spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. Right, and you go into that word enmity. Well, we're going to grab that really quick. We're going to go to... I looked it up, and this is what enmity, that word means. The state of feeling or being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Right. Hostility, animosity, friction, you know, bitterness, hatred. You see, these what the word represents. Grudges, abhorrence, venom, dislike, ill feeling. So this is what against that's what's yeah, this is yeah, what that word, them are the definitions of that word, of this word enmity, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. You see, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So that is not upset. That is not accepted. Will not be accepted. You see, for a person to be carnal minded, the Most High Yahweh Shem Shah would never accept a person that's carnal minded and of this world. You see, period, point blank. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. Verse 8, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Right. You know, plain and simple. Plain and simple, man. If you in the flesh and you are worldly, you ain't gonna never please the Most High. You will never please Yahweh Shem Shah. You will never please Yahweh Shem Shah. So then they are that are so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so, be that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Mashiach, he is none of his. Right. So that means if you walking in the flesh and you are carnally and you are of this world, the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah do not dwell with you, dwell within you. You see? The Spirit dwells not within you, period, point blank. He said, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. And what? That pertains to the elect. Only the elect is not going to be carnal and walk after the flesh. Because the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah dwells within them. You see? In verse 10, and if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin. But the Spirit is life because of righteousness. You know? So, we be dead with Hamashiach, we should also live with him. You know? If we be dead with Hamashiach, meaning put off those sins, away with the wicked acts, you know, and just like Hamashiach was raised, we shall be. And you know what? We finna get that, cause just like our Lord Yahushua was raised, and raised from the dead. Just like our Lord was raised from the dead. So are we that are reborn again. You see, and we're gonna get that really quick. Cause it's important to come out of these come into be more spiritual, be more godly. We're gonna go to book of Ephesians. Book of Ephesians, chapter 4. Salaki. Book of Ephesians, chapter 4. Yeah, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. He said, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. Right. So we got to put off, you know, those old acts, them old characteristics that was going to lead us to death and destruction. It's a must that we put off and away with those acts, those lustful ways. That ye put off conversation, the former conversation of Salaki. That you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. Verse 23. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Right. And be renewed and the spirit of your mind. See? That's what it's all about, man. That's how you become a new creature. Become reborn again. That's how you become more spiritual and not carnal. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. That's what's going to get you delivered. If you endure that to the end. Verse 24. And that ye put on the new man. What is that new man? You know, like I said, not smoking cigarettes, not smoking marijuana, not popping pills, watching what you eat. You stop eating pork. You stop eating shrimp. You stop eating certain type of fish, crawfish, crab. You stop eating crab, uh, 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 catfish. You practicing and keeping the law, statutes to the best of your ability. You keeping the high holy days to the best of your ability. Learn the true names of our powers, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. That's the new man. Keeping you learning this self discipline. That's the new man that you have to come into to please Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Because just like the scriptures say, you walking in the flesh, it's impossible to please him. To please Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. If you are carnally minded, it's impossible to please our powers. He said, and that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Yeah, you see? Verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. You see? You don't steal no more if you used to steal. Renew your mind. That's what it's all about. That's putting off the old man and becoming that new creature. Slakia. Becoming a new creature that that's pleasant in the sight of Yahweh Shem Shah. That's what the new man is. And we're gonna go to Book of Romans, chapter 12. Yeah, here we go. I beseech you, brethren. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Right. So, we you make your body a living sacrifice. Like I said, you sacrifice by not feeding into the lust, not feeding the, not feeding, not giving into the lustful, uh, you know, the lustful, how should I put this? Well, you're not feeding into the lust, not feeding into the flesh. not giving into the flesh, if I may, say, not feeding into the flesh. You know, not giving into the weak flesh, but but being more spiritual and conquering conquering the conquering the fleshly conquering the fleshly desires. You know, that's making a sacrifice by conquering the fleshly desires. You know, things that you used to do. You know, and also it goes into ultimately being in this truth. Teaching. Sacrificing. Your time into getting in these scriptures. Studying instead of always going out all the time. Being up under your woman 24/7. If brothers have some, if brothers have one, you know, you sacrificing the time. You sacrificing with being. You sacrifice being in His truth, being more in tune with His truth than spending time with your own kids. You're not able to spend time with your kids because you so focused on this truth and doing the work. That's what it means when it says making your bodies a living sacrifice. Getting out there on the highways and byways. This is what making your body a living sacrifice means. Becoming spiritual and not carnal. Putting off that old man, becoming a new creature. Sacrifices that is pleasant in the sight of Yahweh Shemel Shah. These are the sacrifices that are pleasant in the sight of Yahweh Shemel Shah. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world. We're going to look the word conformed up really quick. Be not conformed of this world. To conform oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern. Fashion oneself according to. Right. So, basically, we can't be attached to this world. That's why I say, and be not conformed to this world. We can't care about the things of this world because they are only temporary. We have to keep focused on the internal, which is spiritual. You see? That's spiritual. The things that are carnal are going to be destroyed and removed. Pure point blank. He said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. Right. That new creature, that new man, he said, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. You see? Spiritual. That's who the Most High is dealing with. Individuals that are spiritual and not carnal. Period, point blank. That's who he's dealing with. Read that one more time. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. That's beautiful, man. So we have, like I said, we have to practice on being spiritual. And really quick, we gonna go to last precept. Go to Romans chapter 6. And it says, know ye not, that's verse of Slakia. Romans chapter 6, verse 3. Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized in Hamashiach, in Yahushua Mashiach, were baptized into his death? Right. So, read that one more time. Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Yahushua Mashiach were baptized into his death? Verse 4. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. Right. You see? So we got to come out of that dead state and accept the the uh 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 the uh living waters that Yahweh Shemal Shah has that's accept the living water that is available to us to receive. You see? Which is coming out of Babylon. Coming out of Babylon, man. And like I said, become spiritual and focus on eternity, you know, period, point blank. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism unto death, that like as Hamashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. Verse 5. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Right, you see? And verse 6, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him. You see? And really, Apostle Paul, he breaks it down right here. He said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, with Yahushua. That old man, meaning those Gentiles that we once were, was conquered, man, and overtook by our inner man, our spirit, through the power and mercy of Yahweh Shem Shah. You see? He said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. Right? Because once you that old man is destroyed and you become a new creature, you're no longer gonna condone wicked acts, sinful ways. I mean, yeah, we gonna go off. These bodies are subjected to vanity, whether we like it or not. And we can't be perfect here. But we have to practice. Like I said, that's why we have to practice on being spiritual and less carnal to the best of our ability, man. That's the difference between the elect and the rest, man. That's the difference between the elect and the 2/3. The 2/3 don't try. They continue to be carnal and wicked and don't care. You know? But the elect, they keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, man. You know? And they don't serve sin. They don't condone sin. You don't see the elect walking around stealing. You know? Lying all the time. You see? Because the elect have been reborn. You see? And have been raised up. Just like the Most High has promised. Like pertaining to the scriptures. He said he would raise us up in the last day. He would raise the elect up in the last day. And what you see going on, you got camps everywhere now, man. Jake waking up, you know. But you know, the elect is gonna the elect is gonna depart from that old man and be reborn and be spiritual, more spiritual. He said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. Verse 7, for he that is dead is freed from sin. Period, point blank. For he that is dead is free from sin. Right, and we are dead here. We don't have life here. Only life we have is in Yahushua Mashiach, which is eternity. You see? We're dead here. We're in captivity here. You see? But just like it says, for he that is dead is freed from sin. Right, because you have given up your life here. You've given up the cares of this life here. That's why it says, make your body a living sacrifice. Because we die all the day long. For he that is dead is freed from sin. You got to give up the cares of this life. Quit feeding into the flesh. Quit be weak. You know. When it comes to the flesh. be weak when it comes to the flesh, man. You know, which is being in a weak nature. I mean, which is a weak which is carrying a weak nature. You know, and then the Most High, he forbid that. The Most High forbid that. You know, we got away with that. And, you know, really quick, I'm gonna close this out. We're gonna go to the Apocrypha because we have to away with that weak nature, man, by giving in to the flesh, fleshly thoughts, carnal thoughts. You see, go to the book of Second Ezra. It's like Second Ezra, chapter 14. Here we go. Second Ezra 14, Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off the weak nature. You see? You know, plain, simple, and clear. You know, we gotta, that, you know, because you continue to be conquered by the flesh and giving in to the flesh. That's weak, man. You know, there's no strength in your spirit. You know, let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off the weak nature. You know, let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. You know, we can't be weak, man. You know, the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shah, looking for men, tough men. He not looking for no weaklings. You know, period, point blank. But you know, that being said, Lord willing, I sincerely hope that this was edifying. I wasn't planning on making this long at all. But Lord willing, this is edifying and justifying to the body. And with that, I want to say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rahah, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone, who rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect, the hopeful elect, that teach the truth with sincerity and wholeheartedly. And Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, you Akim, and you few Akwa, you believers that subscribe to this truth. Shalom. And Abba, Kwame Asharala.